Have you been thinking about moving to Topeka, Kansas? Today, we're going to discuss some of the pros and cons of our fine city in 2024. I'm Patrick, this is Becky, and this is Jacob. Let's talk.
Number 8, cost of living. The cost of living in Topeka, Kansas is about 30% less than the national average. That's anywhere from transportation costs, gas costs, food costs. And then a fun fact, the average home price nationwide is $383,000. In Topeka, it's only $188,000. So it's definitely more reasonable to purchase a home here in Topeka.
Yeah. If you're moving out of one of the coastal states, moving here, you're going to find a lot more house for your money. For instance, I had a client come in last year, the year before, from Vancouver, Washington area, and her words, a beat up little house, but it was a 3-bed, 1-bath, and she got just south of $400,000 for it. And she found she could come out here with that money and get like 5-bed, 3-bath home and still have quite a bit of money left over. So she was really thrilled.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I bet what would that house cost in Vancouver? Where's she from? Would that be at least $600,000 bare minimum?
Somewhere around there.
Way out of the
especially
city
at the
limits.
time that she moved out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 7, Topeka has a lot of great schools. So no matter what part of town you move into, be that north, south, or central, Topeka has some really great school options, including private schools. Even if you're a homeschooler like myself, there's a lot of great school co-ops and great groups to connect to so your kids can still have that interconnection and activity. If you're like Patrick, you utilize one of the private schools in town.
Yeah, and there are a lot of great co-ops for homeschoolers, as you were saying, because that's really blown up in the last few years. So many activities and sports programs for them, which is fantastic. We did opt to choose a private school, a private classical Christian school, and it's a fantastic school. Our kids love it. It would have been something that would be very hard to afford in most areas, especially larger cities. It'd probably be at least 50%, if not 100% more for tuition and activities in another state from at least what we've seen from people moving here. So it's a great option, and that sense of community that we have with that school is fantastic. But like I said, great options with the homeschooling, with private school, and then your husband's a public school teacher.
Absolutely.
Anyone would be very fortunate to have him as a teacher. He's a great teacher.
Well, thank you. I'll have to tell him that. So my husband, he is a middle school teacher at one of the bigger districts here in town, and kind of getting to be in on the back end and getting to know the teachers. There's just so much care and so much love that goes into teaching every student. Even though it's a bigger district, they really try to give as much one-on-one as they possibly can. So I agree, whether you're in the public, private, homeschool, Topeka's just a great town for you to find that right fit.
Number 6, tornadoes. There is a vicious rumor that we get tornadoes in Kansas. In fact, there's a popular movie about it. You may have heard of it, The Wizard of Oz. That vicious rumor is true. We do get tornadoes. However, the last big tornado that we had came through here in June 1st of 1966. That did a lot of damage to Topeka. A lot of things were rebuilt, but nothing major since then. Tornadoes are a thing. Tornado season is a thing for sure. But like a lot of things in different areas, you to the locals, you kind of learn to cope with it. The idea of an earthquake is terrifying to a Kansan because we don't experience that.
Yeah.
The idea of a wildfire sounds particularly scary to us as well because we don't really have that so much. But there are tornadoes. You'll know a local by the fact that if they hear a tornado warning siren go off, they'll typically go outside and see what's going on instead of running down to their basement.
We just did that 2 weeks ago. When the siren went off, my husband and I went off and went, I don't see anything.
So because it is part of life here, most homes have basements or storm shelters or someone close by that does have that. So it's a real thing, but we're much more prepared for it than some other areas would be. Basements is a very common thing in new construction and existing construction. There are plenty of homes that don't have basements as well. Like I said, some of them have store shelters, but there's ways to mitigate that, and it's not something that we're in constant fear of.
Yeah.
So
I'm personally a little bit disappointed because I moved here in 2011, and I grew up watching the movie Twister, so I really wanted to actually see a tornado. And yeah, Bill Paxton. There you go. I wanted to see a movie and chase a tornado, and I have not actually seen one yet. So
No flying cows.
No flying cows, no flying barns. Sorry to disappoint, Jacob.
Number 5, amazing parks. We have over 100 parks here in Topeka, Kansas. Lots of green space, beautiful landscaping throughout. One of my favorite parks is Gage Park. They have a train, they have a carousel. They're right across from the Topeka Zoo, and sometimes they do a lot of partnering with that. Lots of shelter houses, lots of walking trails. Having 2 littles, it's definitely something that is a focus for me and makes me love Topeka even more.
we did our last event there too.
Yeah, we did. We did an ice cream social and rented one of the shelter houses that had its own little playground, and it actually was connected to the carousel. So that was really exciting as well.
And we live really close to Gage Park, so my wife and kids like to walk there, especially in summertime. And it's about like 160 acres, I think, of just park space and walking trails, and the zoo, and play gym equipment, and there's a water park there. It's a lot of fun. It really is.
It is 160 acres because we just checked on Google.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
We did.
So it is a 160 acre park, and Gage Park is amazing because it is all condensed. The zoo, the train, the water park. We've had several events for our clients there in the past. Like you said, ice cream socials. We used to do like family pictures there. Between Gage Park and Lake Shawnee, I think the majority of family photos and senior pictures in this town are taken at those 2 places.
And Wardmead Park as well.
We took family pictures there too.
We did too. We did it this past year actually.
Yeah.
And those are just 2 of over 100. So if you like parks and outdoor spaces, Topeka has a lot to offer.
Exactly. What else? Tell them about Wardmead Park. What else is it? Because it's kind of a cool old
So
town,
Wardmead Park it's got like a couple of older buildings. Yeah, it's like an old town. There's a train that you can actually get up on, and we took pictures on the train. They have like food festivals there. They have tulip time there. So lots of flowers. They do stuff around
old soda shop and like the
Old soda shop.
Schoolhouse.
Yep. They
Brick
do.
roads.
Yep. They do what is that? Something around Christmas time where they have lights all throughout, and they have little like miniature, miniature things set up.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
There were
It's
several
fun.
parks
It's
that put
very,
on a
very
light
fun.
show.
Yeah, the Topeka Zoo, they do an incredible light show. I've been to some in some other towns you wouldn't expect. I mean, for the size of town and zoo, the quality level is amazing.
Yeah.
And Lake
Topeka
Shawnee
Zoo
has
lights.
the drive-through lights as well.
That's great as well.
Yeah.
I love that new garden in the zoo that they put in. It's like an Asian inspired. I can't remember the name of it. But,
It's the Japanese garden.
Japanese garden. Great.
It's beautiful.
Oh, it's well done. So we got some great parks. Number 4, frequent road construction. It has been said there are 2 seasons in Kansas. One is winter and the other is road construction. Slight exaggeration, but it's largely true. We do love to see roads improved, and since we do have all 4 seasons here, that is harder on roads. So we're gonna have road construction. Did you have some like by your house recently?
Yeah, off of 10th Streets. They took a few months to be able to do a full project, and they were replacing some line or some asphalt or something. And then the week following them getting done, not even a week, it was a few days, a water main broke. So they had to shut down all of 10th again there in that spot. They took a couple weeks to fix it. And then not even a month later, they started another section just further down the road. So we spent all this year just watching 10th get ripped up.
And while it's frustrating to run into that construction, the exciting part is it still doesn't really affect your drive much.
At all.
I mean, you can get from one side of town to the other in about 15 minutes. So even though pretty much any road I take, I'm going to run into construction, it doesn't really slow maybe 5 minutes it adds, but nothing too major. I mean, nothing that you would see in another city, big city.
A detour is a couple of blocks. It's nothing major.
Yeah.
Like you said, 15 minutes from anywhere. From our office on Wanamaker, which is out southwest, clear out to north where the soccer fields are, it would only take like 7 or 8 minutes. Even in Christmas time, right next to the mall and retail outlets, I mean, it's not much traffic. If you've lived in any big city, people feel like they get their life back when they move here from somewhere else.
Absolutely.
If you drive 30 minutes here, that means you've traveled over 30 miles. So It's just it's super easy. People get so used to it so quickly. Yeah. So if you're facing a commute of 30, 40 minutes wherever you are right now, this place is a breath of fresh air for sure.
Yeah. Like I tell clients when they're moving in from big cities, this is the biggest small town you'll ever live in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Number 3, Topeka is very small business friendly. So if you are someone who's moving from out of town with entrepreneurial endeavors who wants to start up a small business, or if you're moving out here with a pre-established business that already has overhead and employees and people to move with you, Topeka is a really, really great place to do that. There's lots of people here that start up their own thing or have already had something that they're continuing to grow, and there's lots of resources and communities and networks in Topeka itself just to help small business. Yeah. One thing I particularly appreciate coming from an entrepreneurial family is that Topeka is very, very pro small business. So everybody is about supporting each other's own success. Yeah. It's really cool to witness.
We just love shopping and buying local whenever we can, whether it's restaurants, retail, service industry. It's a good environment for opening a lawn business, to open up a cabinet shop, financial advisement. I've got a friend who built a very successful IT company here, and now it's nationwide. Financial service industry is actually quite good here as well. So just whatever small business you're interested in, there's a place for it. Yeah.
Number 2, drastic weather changes. Topeka, Kansas, man, do we know drastic. I don't know anywhere else that you can get all 4 seasons in one day. But that's Topeka for you. That happened actually recently where we had like 70 degrees and it dropped to like 40 degrees in a span of about 3 hours.
Yep.
That being said, we do still get all 4 seasons, and the winter's not, crazy extreme. It doesn't last a long time. It's not as long as, like you said, like Michigan and places like that. But we do get all 4 seasons, and sometimes it just chooses to do it all in one day.
Yeah. It doesn't really last, and that, like, even in the dead of winter, we'll have a week or two with very low temps, and then the very next week it's in the 50s, sometimes even 60s, and it'll vary until spring. We don't know if that's coming at the end of February or the end of March, but it's not much beyond that as far as winter goes. At least I haven't seen it that way in over 20 years.
Yeah. You never really know if you're going to get snow on Christmas or not. That's always a toss of the coin.
Yeah.
Might have a white Christmas.
Or snow days.
Quite a bit. Yeah. My kids pray for snow days. So
that's
usually
probably
get a
how
couple
they happen.
every year, so.
Yeah. Number 1, Topeka has a great sense of community. So no matter what part of town you move to, you're going to find some really great neighbors. You're going to find some great businesses, and you're going to find a lot of different groups to plug into, be that social groups or church groups or school or whatever the case is. Topeka is really invested into helping each other and be really great neighbors. I've got some great friends and neighbors all around me. I'm sure you guys do too. The local church that we attend, they knocked on our door, 6-7 years ago and invited us. We've been there ever since. If you're someone who likes to have a good support network within your community, Topeka is a really great place for it, while also maintaining some level of privacy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you hear of a family that's, say, their house is burnt down, the next thing you know, people are donating items and raising money, and it's just really exciting to be a part of a community that does that for each other.
Yeah. Our real estate team, we throw events and have like low end 70 to 400 people show up at our events that we throw, and it's something that we like to do in the community, and builds that sense of community, and people are receptive to it. They come to it. It's fantastic in that aspect. I'll tell you, 2020, 2021 really revealed how great it is to live in Topeka, Kansas.
Absolutely.
With the support and the ability to interact and have community. So
people just showed up for each other.
Yeah.
It's really cool to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Good place to be. If you have any questions about anything that we discussed in the video today, anything real estate related, any questions about Kansas, please call, text, or email with the information provided on the screen. Among us, we have over 50 years of real estate experience helping families, individuals, and investors with their real estate needs.